It's the story of the drill. I go to Home Depot and I buy this drill, right? Variable speed, 3/4 inch. Home Depot, right? Smells like wood and it's full of tools. It's a spa for men. But I pay for it and I'm driving home and I open the bag and I look in it and I go, oh, that was the stupidest thing I've ever done. $149. Why did I do that? I've never, ever wanted a drill in my life. Never. I wanted holes, but they don't sell holes. And I had to buy the drill. Make certain that you understand what the holes are your people are looking for. The holes are the experiences. Let me ask you this question. If you set a goal, find out what's necessary to achieve it, begin to invest in the activity, and you don't stop, is pretty much any goal possible. Show of hands, who believes that to be true? Right, short of maybe me being quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. I'm not sure they're looking for a 56-year-old guy with a bad knee. Well, actually, no. Maybe. Brett Favre, right? Come on. So find the goal, find out what's necessary to achieve it, begin to invest in the activity, and you don't stop. So let's have an example then of achieving a goal. Let's say if I wanted to make it to that wall on the far side of the stage. Who here thinks I could make it? Not everyone. Have to get my walker, yeah. So I've identified the goal. I find out what's necessary to achieve it. I begin to move along towards it and think, oh, I didn't know that storm had happened today, and I'm moving along, and oh, I didn't know gas prices would go up. I didn't know that would happen to the economy. I didn't know my kid would fall out of a tree. Didn't know the economy would turn down. And I get to a certain point and go, come on, I should have been further than this. Oh, and I think because of all those things, it's not working. And I quit. Now I'm never taking another step. Now who believes I can make it to my target? No. Now it's not possible. Now I've just lost my goal. Why? I mean, we live here. What? Did you see anything? What stopped me? Audience participation. Did you have coffee at lunch? I stopped myself, but specifically, what was it? A thought. Who said that? All right, you get like a cookie at dinner. Yeah. A thought. Really? A thought stopped me? Yeah. What's a thought? Storage of a piece of information stored in a center in the brain called a neuronet, recalled through all the synapses in the brain and all the rest of this gobbledygook of science I won't bore you with. But a thought is the storage of a piece of information based on an experience that's what? No longer here. So it's a hologram of a memory, of an experience that's no longer here, and that's why I didn't have my goal? Really? Yes. This is the part of my whole business. I find this incredibly fascinating. It was a thought. When I was a kid, 8, 9 years old, got off the bus. We lived in the country and got off the bus alone, and I went to the front door of our house, and it was locked, and ours wasn't the kind of house you lock. Right? You're hoping people would come and take stuff. I mean, it was, right? And it was locked, and there was little diamond-shaped windows. And I looked through the window, and there was my mother lying on the floor in the living room and a big pool of blood around her head. And I couldn't open the door, and I went around the back and kicked it in and went to the neighbors, and it wasn't a suicide threat that was made good on. She got drunk and fell down and hit her nose on the coffee table and bled everywhere and passed out. Is that a terrible experience? Of course, right? Is it possible the memory of that could impact thoughts today and how I approach relationships? Is it? People say yes. Right? Here's the truth. Here's the question. Look around. Do you see my mother? If you said yes, it would freak me out. She's been gone for a while. No, right? She's not here anymore. That's a past memory. So a thought based on an experience that's no longer here. I hope you get this. I hope you take this with you and say, next time I hear that challenge in my head, to know what it is, it's just a thought. Look, I got this far and I didn't get my goal. Here's the magic portion of the show. Do you see anything? No, right? There's nothing there. In Syria, in Haiti, there's something there. But folks, we live in Canada. There's nothing there. It's a thought. Passion is everything, right? To start there, to identify your passion in life. And it's different for everyone. Jim Rohn, who was one of the grandfathers of my business, he was Anthony Robbins' mentor, passed away a couple of years ago, one time said, if you choose to build a cabin in the woods and feed the squirrels, if you pull it off, you're a smashing success. The world says you're feeding squirrels. Say, I know. You have no idea how that makes me feel. Right? So passion is individual. General Russell Honore, who was the cigar-chomping general during New Orleans when Katrina hit, came in there and barked out all the orders and got the people out of the convention center and saved a lot of lives. I watched him in an interview a few years ago, and they were talking about goals in life and passion, and the general looked at the interviewer and said, son, because generals talk like that, right? He said, son, you got to understand there are only two important days in any person's life. The day you're born and the day you get to figure out why. And the day you get to figure out why. I can ask every person in this room, and I've done it before with groups, let's take 10 minutes, take out a pen and write down your goals. Everybody in here have goals? Show of hands, you have goals? Of course. And then one by one, I would take people out to another room, one-on-one. Say, this looks like a good list of goals, but let me ask you the question. Do you wake up in the morning motivated, driven, and inspired to do something to move towards that? And most people will say, you know what? I don't, and I don't know why. I do. They're not your goals. They're goals that the world has given you over and over and over and over again. It's like the way we elect governments, right? Lie to me often enough and I'll vote for you. But it's the same thing. The input of the information repetitively is stored in the subconscious mind, becomes the driver. You should want this and have this and go there and do that. And then we end up being uninspired by our own goals because they're not ours. Right? Shut those off. Go find your own.